just touching on, you just said, you're not where you want to be, and it's okay to keep dreaming, and it really is, but we have to live in the present. And based on language too, I don't believe there's any coincidence that the present state is a present and it's spelled just the same as a gift.
I was just listening to a podcast today. This woman, it was an interview of a woman who was a North Korea defector, and like she left when she escaped when she was 13, and then she's just talking about and she's now like a humanitarian and human rights activist and everything, and she's like telling a story of like how they lived, like what happened to her once she left. Like she said she didn't leave to become like a protester or anything. Like she left because she was starving. She was hungry, and she was close to the border of China, and she could see the lights, and she's like, maybe if I can just get over there, we can eat. Like I'd have some food. And then like the story that she from once she actually escaped to like where she, like then she became like a slave, and she was a virgin. So like was sold because for like a higher dollar, which I think she said she was sold for like $200 or something like that. Like crazy. And like her mom was sold for like $65. It was like, but it's insane. Like it went from like she was sold like sex trafficking, and then she was bought by a couple of different people, and then she made her way out of China to like South Korea, and then to like a few other countries, and then to the United States. And like she's just talking about like all this hardships, and it's insane to think about. Like and I'll get back to what I was coming from, but she's like I forgave the person who like raped her, like the first like person. Like he's like he actually went to jail for something else or whatever, and she like ended up helping him, like when like it was just mind-blowing how like, and she had like, I wouldn't say it was gratitude, but she didn't like have this grudge or anything like that. Like she like let all of that go, and she's like she's like living now, and like just trying to spread the word and get people to be aware of it. But it's like thinking of stuff like my life is nowhere near that gone through that much pain or trauma or anything like that. Nothing, and it's just when I hear stories like that, or I look at things, I'm just like, wow, I have an amazing life. I'm not where like I want to be, right? But it's like, I have a really good life, and like I'm grateful that I can stop and see that and be like, wow, I'm grateful that we have electricity. I'm grateful that I can do a Zoom call. I'm grateful that I have like, it's just like the smallest thing. And even sometimes I'm like, I'm just grateful I have fresh air to breathe. Like, like,
especially here in California, like that the smoke is gone from the fires, and we can go out and breathe. And the word for me, and thanks for bringing all this up, because it is slowing down that helps the gratitude. Because you and I have traveled to South America too, and then people will spend hours in gratitude. Hours, and you and I, we had some gratitude ceremonies and had some cacao ceremonies, and where we slow down. And I've been actually bringing that into my daily life, because even how, just touching on, you just said, you're not where you want to be, and it's okay to keep dreaming, and it really is, but we have to live in the present. And based on language too, I don't believe there's any coincidence that the present state is a present and it's spelled just the same as a gift. This moment that we have right now, that you and I are having on this podcast, that we get to have with our families after this, these moments that we get to have, holding that. Because when we regret the past, or we focus on that, like what power she gave herself by letting go of all those grudges, by being mad at people that have assaulted her, and in horrible traumatic ways. Like people can hold that, and people do, they hold that like cancer in their lives for the rest of their lives, and they end up harming themselves. When we can actually forgive and forget, which is hard. It's not easy to do for many of us, but we're actually losing our own personal power. We're losing our own thing. And this is that whole letting go, right? So if we can let go of that, then I can be present now. And then you also could do the opposite. You could be a big dreamer, which I tend to be, and we could spend so much time in the future thinking, have to bring ourselves back to this moment, because this is where the point of most power is. And as Robert Dilts would say, is that this is the moment right now. Many other people have said it too, but that this moment right now. And then so bringing it to a tactical thing, what I've been doing, Jovanni, is like it really came to cacao, like and Jonas from Firefly Chocolate, really having me slow down and consume chocolate in a different way, because that's been an overindulgence. And I'm talking about no sugar, like just the cacao, and it's a bit bitter, and but it slows you down, and you really bring your gratitude and your awareness of the food. And so now what I've done is I brought that to my meal times. So when I eat now, I pause. And because even in life too, we're like, go, go, go. And being here in Silicon Valley growing up, I would eat a lot of meals fast and get right to the next task. And now I'm forcing myself every meal that I eat, and I have my leftover cup of cacao right here from earlier this afternoon. And I'm basically, I'm going to scrape that out with the spoon, by the way, after this podcast. That's why that spoon's there. I'll save you the scraping sound. But I sit there, and you know what I do, Giovanni? I bring myself to the land. So I'm grateful for the land that whatever I'm eating grew off of. I'm thankful for the water that fed it. I picture the sun. I'm grateful for that, because without those things, we wouldn't have the food that we consume. Then I see the farmers that created that. And some of them, if you eat local, you'll know your farmers. So then I even picture them, and I'm like, thank you for growing this. Then I see the transportation, the trucks that took it to the market that my family bought it from. And I thank the people at the market for putting that food in place so that we can have it, and doing all that work. And then if my wife had prepared the food, or my kids, or then I thank them for preparing the food. And I picture all this in my mind, and then I'm putting all that energy, and I could feel the energy in my palms around that food, and just putting all that love. And then when I consume it, I slow down. So much of digestion is in our mouth, and I never knew that. And so even learning that and slowing down and tasting the food, because sometimes I would chew so fast and swallow just to get that the food, so I would feel hungry. But now and then I even eat less, because I'm allowing the digestion to happen, and I'm feeling full, and I'm really letting this amazing energy into my body, and bringing all that gratitude, because this is life. And then just to your point, Jovanni, like how grateful I am to sit at a table and eat a warm meal, or have these things that other people may not have the ability to have. And there's so much gratitude in that. And then just noticing that in the small things. So this comes back to, I think, your original question is like, how do you do this when things could be so bad? Bring yourself back to the essence of life, and look at what's around us. It's if finding that gratitude. And now when things are hard, I can find the gratitude quicker. When you're in a storm, most of the time I find that the presents, the gifts that come out of that are bigger than when everything's calm. And so instead of looking at the storm and being mad at the storm, start looking for the present that's in that. Look for the gift that's in that storm, and start finding those things, and ask yourself, what do you have to be grateful for? That could be the simple answer right there. So you're stuck. What do I have to be grateful for? And keep asking yourself that until you have an answer. And if you really can't find an answer, then ask somebody who's near you. Find someone who's near you. And if you're really, really alone, then reach out to anyone if you can, because, as humans, we want to connect more than people think. So, call. And I know a lot of people are in tough spaces with 2020, like, reach out to us. I give you permission to call our company, to message us on social media. Just say, hey, I'm not feeling good. And we're here for you. We're here for you. Hey there, I want to give you something really big. It's called Clear Path to Customers. It's the way that we get the right language to get the right client. I like to call them your wow clients, so that you can have more results, more revenue, more raving fans, and more referrals. And I want to give this to you absolutely free. And all you have to do is go to stevenapolitan.com to check it out, or you can look at the description here. We'll put the details there. As always, remember, choose gratitude and create freedom.